All right, have and have not fans. Now it's time to do an episode review on Hanna's Tea. And I have to admit that Tyler Perry in Hanna's Tea and last week's episode, Aaron Boy, these have been, in my opinion, the best two episodes of the season so far in terms of overall pacing, offering a little bit of backstory into characters, just character interactions, just things of that nature. And I mean, I'm not going to lie, like the cliffhanger ending of last week and then the cliffhanger of this week, it makes me want to tune in for more. Like the way that these two episodes have been paced have definitely been like, hey, how the entire season should have been filmed so far. But overall, let me go ahead and let me just talk about the episode itself. I'll do another video about like how these two episodes are great. But overall, you know, these are just my initial thoughts. I think the episode was about an 8.5 on a scale of 1 to 10. I know I got some quote unquote backlash for the whole why did you give Aaron Boy a 9.5? You're just a suck up, whatever. 8.5. Why is it 8.5 and not a 9 or a 9.5? I feel like Wyatt and Jeffrey were the weak points of this episode. Not necessarily the beginning of the episode when Wyatt was just whining to Jim about getting the hell out of his apartment and going to jail and stuff like that. I felt like Jim was being sincere in terms of, you know what, you're going to blow this money because it, you know, hey, I'm sorry because I didn't teach you how to manage money. And because of that, you know, you're just going to end up on the streets and crawling back to me and your mother. I actually agree with that. That makes a lot of sense because way back in season 1, the beginning of season 2, where Amanda was demanding, you know, I want my inheritance. And then Catherine's like, well, you don't know how to handle money and you'll just end up giving it to the first person that asked you, you know, for it. So, and well, most likely Candace would have taken it from her. But I'm just saying that when it comes down to it, the Crier kids were never trained for that kind of life. I think Candace even said, don't blame me for your children breaking down Wyatt and Amanda because you never prepared them for life and how to deal with people like me. That's what she told Jim one time. And that makes a lot of sense because Catherine pointed out, you just protected our kids so much like a glass bottle that they're just going to end up crumbling to pieces. And I hope you enjoy it when you see them fall in front of you. And I couldn't agree more. Jim pretty much set his children up to fail because he coddled them so much or just protected them from the real world. Now, when it comes down to it, I feel like Oscar's definitely going to have a hand in getting back the money due to the fact that Jim hired him. And in the next episode, we see that he's definitely going to have the wheels in motion, you know, working one of the cops at the station, getting Queet out of jail, and the list goes on. But moving on to another scene here, I found it the most. I feel like Mitch is like one of my new favorite characters. Like I've always liked this character, but he's definitely in the top 5 for me right now. Just because Benny's getting him in so many situations that it's just so funny. Like when he walked in on Benny and Melissa having sex, and this new Melissa, I swear, man, she is just wow. When she said, "Girl, what?" all country trying to sound all sophisticated. You need to work on your foundation and extensions. I lost it. She is not taking any crap from Veronica. So when Veronica gets her strength back, I wonder how, you know, her and Melissa are going to handle each other, especially with Melissa being so reckless because remember, she was the one that took the wheel trying to kill them both. So she really doesn't give a crap about life in general. And I don't think she's pregnant, I swear. It just does not seem like it. Yes, she was using a condom with Benny, but I just don't see it. It just doesn't make sense. Then we got David. Let me just put it this way. I feel like Justin has made very dangerous enemies, not just with Veronica now, but the fact that he has harassed Wyatt and Jeffrey, and both of their fathers walked in on him. In terms of, you know, Jeffrey being pressed against the wall, Wyatt being beaten down to the ground, like the fact that he was bleeding after a couple of punches, I'm just like, well, dang, Wyatt. And the fact that they're judges and Justin is a cop and they can just destroy, and there's no telling how many other people's lives David and Jim have destroyed, and Justin is just another head on the chopping block. And yes, he tried to kill Veronica with the car wreck, but still, these are judges. He is screwed. I do not think Justin is going to make it to the end of the season. I did find it a bit funny when David got up from Justin's desk and he just happened to get up and see Candace being taken into custody by that police officer. And then in the next episode, we're going to see Candace walking out of jail because she's gotten out and David's going to be looking confused. It's like, what the hell just happened? But let me just talk about, you know, the other weak point of the episode being Jeffrey. I was just not a fan of how he was just portrayed to be this weak character. It's like, I'm losing in here. I can't be in here anymore. This guy over here, everybody's so rude and they're disgusting. God, just a wimp, man. It's just pitiful. And then the fact that Candace is still trying to make it seem like Jeffrey was the one that killed Quincy when she was the one that just sat there and let him die. Come on now, it's just ridiculous. I hope that he gets out of there soon or something, because I don't know how much longer I could deal with this. But we do know that Wyatt's going to be in jail the next episode, visiting, because Oscar's going to call, well, he's going to call Oscar back, who's disguising his voice as like a country police officer, and he's going to go down there about Quita because she was the one trying to use his bank card. So I'm guessing that's when Wyatt's going to go in there and see Jeffrey and give him a hug, and Justin's going to walk in on him. That might happen at the end of next week, or they might carry on into the week afterwards on the 27th. But let's just talk about the other scenes here. I don't know about you, but when Derek was telling his backstory, I think at one point Hanna said, "Don't tell me you're a lying Christian." My ears, they hurt lying Christian, and all I could think about was the lion tattoo. But Derek seems like a nice guy, but my gosh, I just don't know what to expect, you know? Like, I want it to work out between him and Hanna, but part of me is still like, oh, does he have a lion tattoo? Will we get to the point where those two are about to have sex, he takes off his shirt, and then there's the lion tattoo? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But Catherine Cry, I love the new house. Well, I wouldn't even say the new house, because it was kind of like an older house in her family that she kind of like rejuvenated, renovated. And then the fact that we got some history, like these are the stairs that I walked down when I got married to good old James. I'm like, oh my God. So that's pretty interesting. I mean, the way she was talking about, I thought those stairs would have like significant meaning in the future, but the fact that it had a significant meaning in her past means a lot. I just love getting those backstories like that. And I just love the face on Mitch when Veronica came through the front door. He's like, Veronica's here. Like, you know, at first when he walked in on Benny and Melissa, he's like, man, hurry up. What's going on? It's like, yo, close the door. We ain't finished. And then it's like, close the door. No, Veronica's here. She's downstairs right now. And everybody was freaking out. I love that. Melissa was just like, man, let's finish. Forget her. Well, it wouldn't have mattered because, well, she couldn't have gotten up the stairs anyway. So I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. But, overall, you know, I think that it was a pretty good episode. The weak points definitely came from Jeffrey and Wyatt, in my opinion. I just feel like, you know, this episode and last week definitely did well in terms of pacing, character interactions. Of course, the fight scene at the end was just hilarious to see, because Quita pretty much talked herself into that ass whooping. I mean, literally, Candace told her, you know, just don't even continue, don't mention my son, but she kept bringing it up. And then the fact she's like, at least for me, he would have been alive. But if you remember when Benny took Quincy Jr. from Quita, brought him home, and then he and Hanna noticed the marks on his back, they took him to the hospital, and then the nurse said if you didn't bring him to the hospital when you did, he most likely would have gotten an infection from those wounds and maybe possibly died. So I can only imagine what Candace would have done if she found out her son was dead in the care of Quita. So overall, pretty solid episode. Got more videos on the way. Trust and believe I do. So subscribe if you haven't done so already. Let me know in the comments what you would rank Hanna's tea in terms of scale of 1 to 10. But one other funny scene is, did you notice the face of the new maid that Catherine has when Hanna came over? She kind of looking like, you know, I know this bitch ain't trying to take my job. Like, no. I'm just here to show you around. Don't worry, I'm not going to get in your way. So I believe Catherine said this was somebody that worked for her in the past. So it'll be a pretty interesting dynamic. So please tune in for more videos. If you haven't done so, hit that subscribe button, and I'll talk to you later.